Hey, so my name is Luis Vega, and I'm going to talk to you guys about my experience of finding out my sexual orientation and my experience coming out as a gay male in the Mexican or really cultural community, you can say. So, a little bit about me is that I was born in Chihuahua, Mexico. I'm I lived there for 8 years, then moved to Sonora with one of my aunties. When I turned 13, I decided to move to the United States, and I've been here for. Um, I was here for a year, then I went back, and then I came back, and I kept doing that for a couple of years. But now I'm here and started college, decided to stay living on my own, kind of. It's pretty fun. It was a really interesting experience. In 1996, around there, 1998, because I was already 5 years old. And when I was five, I was already feeling like an attraction for boys, but at the time I didn't know that it was, according to my family, it was a bad thing to be doing, like liking guys. I mean, only like it was really harsh in some ways, especially to me because let's say I would do certain things like I don't know, I would like walk to school holding a little boy, another like classmate's hand, or like I'll like hug them in really girly ways. My family says, and I would get like punished for that. I would get like hit with the belt, or I would like get put in the room with. They would lock me into the room. There were some instances like showering me like with a lot of soap. It was just some weird punishments I would get, and I didn't know, like I didn't know what I was doing wrong. I thought it was just normal, like being the way
It was, and doing the things that I did. I mean, I was not born with all these rules and regulations in my head. I had to learn them as I was growing up. But that kept going on for like, I don't know. You can say my first 8 years of my life were kind of harsh because I was growing up with my grandma. Me and my grandma grew up by ourselves. Well, I grew up by myself with my grandma, and it was really hard because I lived in a town that was like maximum of like 20 houses, and everybody knew each other. Like my neighbors that live really really far, or like they still manage to know like my family and my business all the time. And somehow they were always like, Even the person that lived like super far, like 20 miles away, it would turn out to be my auntie, and they will be like even my teachers sometimes would be like my uncles, my. It was just so weird. But after a while, I got used to it. But it was really hard because um, not only I would get punished a lot because of my queer behavior that I was having, um, and I was just in little. I was really emotional. I started being depressed since I was a little kid, and I did thought of committing suicide, but I never actually tried to because I never could figure out what I was doing wrong. And so as as I was growing up, the punishments were getting harsher and harsher. When I was in fourth grade, I remember my grandma took me out of school completely. She didn't want me to be involved in the school dances, like participate in them, because she would say like that would just make me more gay, or like they were turning me into a girl or something, and just things like that. Like those accusations were harsh, and so um, during my between my 8th
at my ninth birthday. Thus, that was the hardest year of my life because I was not going to school. I would spend like my time alone. I was not able to go visit my friends slash cousins, and it just like going alone like for an entire year. I will only go with my grandma some places, not all. Like she would be ashamed of taking me out of like the house because she was just saying that I was a punishment from God because my mother got pregnant at age 15 of me, and all this like she will always try to deny it, but um, and so I would try my best to not like figure out what I was doing wrong, and I never could. My dad, um, out of nowhere, showed up a little bit before I was gonna turn 9 year old, and he took me out of Chihuahua and brought me to Sonora with one of my aunties. Um, and everything was going good. I got put back into ninth grade. Um, I mean, and I got put into fourth grade there, back into school, and really, really good. Everything started going very well. I learned the definition of gay there, and so I stopped. You could say I stopped the behavior in front of my family, but like surrounded by my friends, I will still do it, be myself. It was a really big struggle trying to like keep my family happy and keep myself happy because hiding who I was at that time, I was like, well, I know I like boys, but my family think is wrong. So it was really hard. Like, I had already been through so much like punishments, and it was intense. Like, so everything was going good, and before I finished my fourth grade, my auntie, I was, I was 11, about to be 12. My auntie caught me, you can say, kissing another guy. That's when I was actually started experimenting by myself and wanted to know more about it and how it felt. And she caught me and my friend or boyfriend or whatever it was at that time. And so, oh my god, that day was horrible. I got punished so bad. I got hit with the belt. I couldn't go out for like weeks, and the worst thing was it was during summer, so I couldn't go hang out with my friends. I had to spend my time in the house and just do like chores. And if I didn't obey, I would like get punished because I would sneak out of the house sometimes, but I would get like beat up after a while. After a while, like when I would get caught and stuff. So my auntie put me in a all boys boarding school for my fifth grade, and I make a joke now that it was like heaven there because I mean it was just all boys and we were all there for the same reason. But it was like hell. I was in that boarding school, Catholic boarding school, for 2 years, my fifth grade and my sixth grade, and those years were like the worst years of my life because not only I would get punished so bad for being homosexual or and hanging out with other boys that were homosexuals was really a struggle because um, sixth graders will always get in trouble because they will like experiment more their sexuality and they will get caught and stuff, and it was always really hard to express yourself. I mean, we had to go to church 3 to 4 times a week. We had to go Saturdays, Sundays, Wednesdays, and sometimes we'll go on Fridays. And we were taught by nuns. And if we did some type of queer, gay, strange behavior, we will get punished. We'll get hit in our hands. Our hands will get hit with a ruler.
We would have to kneel like in the sun or stand in the sun holding books, or we had to clean the entire school. We would get like put by ourselves. Like there would be times where you wouldn't be able to talk to no one. There wouldn't. There would be times that you couldn't talk to anyone, and it was just. It was like prison. Like it was like a God Church Catholic prison for um, gay kids, and it was. And I was put there because my family thought that it would be a good idea to get those ideas that I had in my head, those beliefs that I was gay out of my head, because um, apparently I just woke up one day and said, "Oh, I'm gonna be gay," and so they wanted me to like think like a man or be a man and have kids, get married to someone, and have many kids like regular Mexican family does. Have like 5 to 6 kids. But that that didn't happen. The school actually um, turned me to be a little rebel. By the time I was in 6th grade, I started be acting up. I started like getting into fights. I started like fighting with the teachers. There was one time where the teacher threw an eraser at me because I was talking girly. I don't know what that means, but he threw an eraser at me, and I just got up and I just threw the desk at him, and I got suspended. But not only that, I had to go home, and my auntie beat me up, dragged me back to school by the ear, and then I got put back into school. And once I got to school, it was I also got hit by, not only the teacher got to like get his own revenge, but I also got isolated from everybody else. Um, I had to get up really early to make sure the food was served for everybody, and I wouldn't be able to talk to no one. During recess, that was the worst time that year because I had to like squat down, hold my ankles, and walk across the courtyard. Like just keep doing it until recess was over, and it was just harsh. Um, but that didn't help. That just turned me like more angry, um, more violent. In the end, my punishment will like I will do all my punishments, and I will like follow through all of them. But I will still be like acting more up. I will like start hitting teachers. I will start like running away from the school. There was times where like the police would get involved. Like they would like try to chase me down the street, or and I think it's a little bit funny now that I like think back of the things that I used to do in that school. Like, but during the time it was a little harsh punishments I would get. There was this time where I actually grabbed. We sneaked into church because it was really close to school. We sneaked into the church, and we turned the Jesus, the cross that is in the altar. We grabbed that Jesus and flipped him upside down. So when we had mass, everybody was like, "Oh my God!" Someone at first they thought it was like a religious thing, but then they kind of someone like I guess snitched on us, and they told him that it was us. So nobody knew who it was, but I offered to flip him back. But during the process, what happened is that it got too heavy to flip him back, and we dropped the cross, and we ended up breaking it. And that's where all my classmates that were helping me turn it around blamed it on me, because of course I was the one that always getting in trouble.
And so I got punished for that. But like after my punishment with that, somebody found out that it was me and two other guys that like flipped the cross. Oh my god, that one was horrible. We had to kneel down in the courtyard, like for not the entire day, but most of the day holding books like in our hands. Sometimes we'll have to hold a rock to make it heavier. It was just, you could see like our knees bleeding. It was just harsh. I wanted, like, we would cry of how much like the punishment would be. Like, it was not something that you would expect from a religious person, like a punishment. Um, it, they didn't tell my auntie that time, which it sucked because my auntie sometimes would defend me. She would like give me the reason, but uh, this time they didn't call her, and just made my life hell for like a week. And I was not able to tell my aunt until like later because they kind of threatened me. They're like, if you tell, you know. But it was really harsh. And then, well, my family knew because of my behavior that I like boys, but they never really questioned me about it. They always let me be. Um, the fact that, you know, coming from a machismo um, culture and trying to keep my family happy and all that stuff, I actually realized I was like, maybe I should try to just like keep it to myself and not tell no one. And so I did. I graduated from elementary school, and I went to middle school. But middle school didn't really work out for me. I got kicked out of school for like the first week I went to school, and got kicked out 3 times that the first month, and so I never. Um, I just got expelled from school by the second week. By the end of the second week of when classes started, then I just started working, and I just kept it to myself. My family never ever asked me anything again because, I mean, I will never. I started acting more manly. You can say I really did a good job because they they actually believed me for a while. But the fact that I was hiding it and I was not, just to try to make them happy, made it really difficult because I was not happy at all. It was hard to be out with my friends and, you know, be me, not, and just do things that I like doing, and then come home and switch the entire person that I was with my friends, with my family. I had to, you know, oh, this girl, you talk about girls and how usually straight people will talk about the opposite sex. And it was really hard, and it's still really hard because I don't really know anything about girls other than like they get pregnant, they're just like another human being. They, you know, they're the female version usually. I don't know. Um, so it was really hard always trying to have a conversation, especially with my dad, because my dad is he will always talk about girls, and me, I will be like, all the time with him. But I started like getting really depressed about things because not only I was just not happy with the conversations I would have with my family and like the way I acted with them, and I was not happy with myself because I wanted to tell them, but I didn't have the guts because after all they always talked about how bad it looks in the family having a gay member, or like how it was a punishment from God, how like they did something wrong and things like that. And it was just like really really hard to like stand up and be like, yes, this is what I like, whatever. And so I did pretend that I was straight until I came to the US. Um, and I still tried to, but I was a little bit more open about things. until I got caught again with another guy. I started going to therapy. I was sent to therapy. I was sent to psychiatric hospitals. I was put in medications. I had to go through some weird treatments, like shock treatments. It was a little intense, but um, it turned out to be the opposite. I mean, there's not really a cure for what I am and what I like other than just accepting it, I guess, because I didn't just wake up and be like, oh my god, today I'm gonna like boys, and then tomorrow I don't know what I'm gonna like. I'll probably like girls. Nah, it's just a thing that I was just born with and always known that I was. And I sometimes says, what can my dad expect? I mean, he did had 12 girls and me, so it's kind of, a little confusing in a way. But okay, I started middle school, started high school. Things went well. Um, Came into college, but mm, once in college, I was already tired of because, I mean, throughout my high school year, I was going to therapy. I went into really severe depression. I tried to kill myself a couple times. Um, it got really bad because I went from like cutting myself, um, just trying to open my veins and or taking pills, into like actually trying to jump off things, running, just doing crazy stuff. But and I was tired by the time I got to college. I was taking like six different type of pills. I would go to therapy 4 times a month plus family therapy, and I just couldn't. I didn't never think I was gonna get this far because I was ready to give up. Um, but then I met this wonderful, wonderful person, or you can say people because it was more than one. But there's this one special person to me that no matter how hard things seemed to me, she was always there. She never said anything about like, oh my god, you're doing everything wrong, or like think about the things. She would always listen to me first, and then she would just stay quiet. And I known her for like 7 years already of my life, so she still there. Even though I'm still here in high school trying to, I mean, in college trying to better myself. She was there through the hard times and through the good times, and now she's just enjoying the good times with me. But she never gave up on me. She always stayed by my side. She always tried to like motivate me in the things when I was depressed, or like when I was in the hospitals and sitting in the waiting room waiting to get admitted into the psychiatric hospital, and she would always be there. Sometimes it would be until 12 at night. She would stay with me, and thanks to her, I think that's why I'm here in college now, because without her, I don't think I would have made it this far. Without her advice, without her support, her motivation, everything, like, it's just, I'm so grateful to her. But when I came into college, I was kind of awake with my family. I started living here in the dorms my freshman year, and so I presented to my friends as gay. Like, I just wanted to be accepted to who I was. If the people I met didn't agree with it, it's okay. I would tell myself that I was not here to make friends, morely to study. But that was kind of BS because I did wanted friends and somebody to like talk to. The So all my friends were pretty open about it. They're like, "Oh, cool. We didn't know that. You don't look like it." Then like started asking questions like, "How long? How do you know?" And you know, I told them, but Christmas 2012, I came out to my family, it was that day that I came out to my family will be unforgettable because everybody was there. I had to sit them like around me. I feel like it was the worst timing to do so, but that was I took the first chance that I had, and I just told sat them all. I told them I had something to tell them, and they were listening to me. My mind, my hands, my body would just like once they all paid their attention to me, my body started feeling like really hot. I started like sweating, started shaking. I don't know how to express. I had like this pain in my chest that, oh my god, I felt like somebody was trying to break out of my heart. Like it was just like so hard. Like the tension that I had, and just the feelings of what would happen next, or how would I was approach it. What am I gonna do? How am I gonna do it? Like, and it was just the worst feeling I ever felt in my life. I wanted to be like gone. I wanted to like I don't know, a volcano just explode right under me. Like I wanted to be like deep into the earth, anywhere except there at that moment. But I had to do it, so I took a deep breath and I asked them. I was like, "What would you guys do if I like boys, but also like girls?" And I went like that. Like I don't want to just go like, "What would you say if I like boys instead of girls?" So I asked them. I was like, "So, what would you guys do if I told them, if I told you that I like boys and girls?" And only they just stare at me like he's joking. Come on, like tell us the real reason we're here. And one of my aunties told me that they were gonna be like every family, accepting for who I was, and if I liked it, I like boys and girls or just boys, they were just gonna be fine with that. That I wasn't that position and that age that I was able to choose what I wanted to do with my life. And so I didn't want to tell him I like boys, but then he just slipped out. I was like, well, I'm gay. I just like boys. Like it just slipped out. Like I was so nervous that it just slipped out. And all I see was everybody, even the auntie that told me that they were gonna treat me the same way as they always have. They got up without a word. They just left the room, and only like two of my cousins stay there. And I wanted to cry. Like I was like, really? Like you just told me like all these things, and then you're just gonna like get up and disown me the way they did. And so I didn't know what to do. I felt this relief because I had told them, but then I felt the pain that of that rejection they gave me, because I mean nobody wants to be rejected, especially by their own family, going through that situation, trying to tell them. And so I nobody talked to me. Good thing I was only gonna stay in Mexico for another 2 days because I had to come back to school. Um, but during those 2 days, nobody talked to me except for those two cousins that stayed there with me, and they just like they supported me. They started just acting like we always did, just like go out, have fun, just normal things. Um, my dad disowned me. My family disowned me. They froze all my bank accounts. They like took everything away, and so yes, that was harsh, but now really happy. Um, I'm really happy where I'm at right now. I do struggle, but it's normal, like everybody. Everybody goes through that or some type of difficulty in their lives. I feel like I have overcome a lot, and thanks to that person, she's still there with me. I told her everything. She's like, it's okay. Maybe they'll forget it. Maybe they won't. But as long as you're happy, that's what matters. And yeah, I'm really happy. I don't talk to my dad. Um, I don't talk to anybody of my family members, not even my two cousins, because they're in Mexico. We don't really stay in touch. Um, but I have adopted this family as my uncle and auntie and my cousins. But it's sometimes it's hard because I'll be like holidays. Yes, I want to be with them, and I know I can't. Or if I try to, they will just reject me. Um, but it takes time to get used to it. I mean, this holiday season is the worst because it's the first holiday season that I'll be without them, and but other than that, I'm very happy with who I am, uh, who have I become, how far I have gone, and I'm proud of being gay. Like that's the greatest feeling. Like my friends tell me, gays means happy. I'm happy. I love every color. I love teddy bears, as you see over there or over here, and it's it's just amazing. But yeah, that was my story about how um, I grew up and a little bit about the things that I went through. Thank you so much, and I hope you learned something from it. Just remember that even if things get down, there's always someone or somehow you're gonna get through, or that someone's gonna help you go through. Um, yeah, be happy, and thank you so much. Bye.